everybody. I am back just for fun. I found some old notes from a visit I took to Chicago in 2013, October, early October 2013. And I just wrote notes to myself, and I'm sure I took pictures too, but I don't know where those pictures have gone. They're probably on a computer somewhere. But I was going to share with you the notes about my visit, and that's it. Happy Thanksgiving. Upon arrival, I was picked up by a Pakistani cab driver, and he didn't know where to go. And I recall having to help guide him. And then at the hotel I stayed at, which was adjacent to the Museum of Science and Industry, I kept getting locked out of my hotel room. So I would have to check in with Anthony down at the front desk to help me. Anthony also directed me to the Museum of Science and Industry, and following that, I went to go check out of my hotel room, and upon walking in, I saw the crotch of a man in the window. I walked in, and there's this man's crotch outside in the window, and he was a window washer, but I took a picture of this man's crotch. So I went to eat next door at the Mellow Yellow restaurant before I went over to the Museum of Science and Industry, and it was raining pretty hard. And then I got another cab driver. This time the gentleman was from Ghana, and I had to show him how to get to the museum because he couldn't figure it out. And it was only 2 blocks away. So what I learned is that none of the cab drivers in Chicago know where to go, and the passenger must tell them. Um, on the way back from the museum, I met a woman at is it the L? What is it called in Chicago? I don't remember. What is the transportation? Is it the L? I don't know. I met a woman on a northbound platform heading toward the city central and up into the burbs, and her name was Dina, which I thought was unusual because that was my dad's middle name was Dean, and if I had been born a girl, I would have been named Dina. Anyway, Dina and I chatted for a long time, and she was telling me where she needed to go, and she had lived in Chicago for 54 years. And then I began to explain to her, I don't think you're on the right platform. And she realized she wasn't and had to go back downstairs and go to the other side so she could go southbound. Nobody knows where to go in Chicago except the visitors, or at least in my case, me. And then when I got on the L train after uh, changing trains, there were all these crotches in my face because everyone's standing and it's very crowded. And when a train is very crowded, it's very quiet and nobody talks. And I wanted to take a picture of all the crotches. And I couldn't see out the windows. There were just crotches everywhere. And there was this Asian girl who had boarded on or about the same time I did. And I just noticed she was very quiet and reading, and everyone was just slammed up against to each other. And about 5 or 7 stops later, again, she was silent the whole trip. And then 5 or 7 stops later, as people began to ease off the train, she just turned to the person adjacent to her and just started speaking as if they were friends. And I'm sure they were, because the other person acknowledged her like they were best buddies. Nobody talks on the L, even if you're friends. She mentioned her shoes, and she started talking after the Belmont stop. And then I was off the train and looking for where I was going to stay, which a friend of mine, a friend of a friend, was kind enough to let me stay there for a few nights. And I thought, well, it's very easy to talk here in the Midwest, so I would ask a couple how I get to a location because I did get a little bit lost. This was the first time I was lost, and this couple had no idea and couldn't direct me. And it was only until I found the place on my own. It was a half a block away, so nobody knows where anything is in Chicago, is what I have deduced. And that was my visit to Chicago. Chai. I call this chaistery. This is a little bit of chaistery from 7 years ago. Okay, you're welcome. Bye.